So, to help follow up on the new light weapon suggestions, I'm here to help give a hand for new players to figure out what exotics are good for harder or endgame content if you want to get started with that. I've gotten a lot of support and great suggestions from you guys in the last video, so I just want to say thank you for helping me out and helping suggest other guns that people should get or alternatives to other weapons on my list. If you could please watch till the end of this video and leave some feedback for my list, or just how I edit in general to improve the video's quality, that would be awesome. Anyways, let's go on to the video, starting our list off at number 10. Because I don't want to make this video not be seen as a copy-paste of all the others, I'm immediately going to start this list off with Sunshot. Sunshot is a 150 RPM solar hand cannon in the energy slot. Its exotic perk allows it to fire explosive rounds on highlight targets, which isn't too useful, but this isn't what we're here for. Its exotic trait completely changes this gun's utility. The trait, Sunblast, makes it so when you kill enemies with Sunshot, they explode and spread scorch to enemies around them. The fun part of Sunblast is that it can chain explosions, which can clear entire rooms of enemies ahead of you. Not only this, but the gun is perfect for solar builds since it can apply scorch and make the explosions. This hand cannon can be earned just by grabbing the solar new light kit from my Cora in the tower. If you already grabbed a different new light kit, it can also be earned randomly from exotic engrams you find. Also, really quickly, the Sunshot you get from my Cora will also come masterwork, but all it does is increase the stats, so if you don't have the catalyst, you're fine. At number 9, we have the Outbreak Perfected Exotic Pulse Rifle. The Outbreak Perfected is a kinetic 450 RPM pulse rifle with a great exotic perk called the Corruption Spreads. The Corruption Spreads allows this weapon to create Siva nanite swarms on rapid hits. When you get a precision kill, however, it does create more nanites in rapid hits, so keep that in mind. Its exotic trait increases the damage the more nanites are on an enemy. What's great is that it got a second version during the Into the Light update that is craftable and can have additional perks, like rapid hit rewind rounds or headseeker. I would suggest using rewind rounds so you could just keep shooting bosses and keep applying more nanites over time, but if you don't want to go through the quest, you can also just do rapid hit for the faster reloading. This is an exotic quest that can be grabbed from 8 to 1 at the tower in the bazaar. You can start this mission in the Legend tab right below King's Fall. Overall, this is a great exotic for normal activities and harder endgame activities, being viable for raids if you run out of heavy ammo during a damage phase. Although being a new player does lead to the question, what exotic heavies are good for damage? Pains me to say it, as someone who has over 260 raid clears, it's the Thunderlord. Okay, put your pitchforks down and let me explain. If you are a new player and only a new player, Thunderlord is a decent, heavy DPS option. Thunderlord's exotic trait is called the Rain Havoc. What it does is kills with this weapon create lightning strikes and also stun overload champions. This can be very helpful during raid encounters to help you add clear or take out overload champions. It can also be earned from random exotic engrams. Now, it may not be as strong as other heavy weapons that are on this list, but if you're having a hard time getting Whisper or you don't want to grind for exotic ciphers, this is a decent gun anyone can use. Anyways, let's move on to another heavy weapon that has a different use for DPS, the Tractor Cannon. Tractor Cannon is a heavy void shotgun found well in the heavy slot. Now, if you're a new player, you may be wondering why the Tractor Cannon is here. Well, Tractor Cannon is one of a few exotics that can apply a weakness debuff to bosses, the other being Divinity. Unlike Divinity, however, Tractor Cannon's debuff is 30%, which is the same amount as a Hunter's Void Tether. Now, unlike Divinity, Tractor Cannon is perfect for those close-range boss fights like Nezarec or Roll, but it is also a very strong option for solo damage if you use melee builds on Hunter or Titan. If I'm correct, you can get Tractor Cannon from a quest or a key that Shahan gives you in the Cosmodrome after you complete New Light campaign, or if not, you can get it random drops from exotics. Risk Runner is a ARC 900 RPM SMG in the energy slot. Risk Runner is a unique weapon because its exotic perk takes advantage of you getting shot at by arc damage. Its exotic trait is called Arc Conductor, which when you get hit by arc damage, this gun becomes stronger, making it deal more damage and resistant to incoming arc damage. Risk Runner is earnable through the risk/reward mission that I believe becomes available after you complete or close to completing the New Light campaign. The quest is very short and shouldn't take you too long to complete and is very easy. If you have trouble completing 0 Hour, Risk Runner is one of the best guns that you can use for this mission, since most of the fallen enemies deal arc damage. You won't die as much thanks to using Risk Runner. Also, if you are in an arc subclass, If you deal damage to yourself with a grenade or one of your abilities, you can proc Arc Conductor on your own. It's a great SMG to use in fallen or arc damaging activities and can be fun to create builds for. At number 5, we have the Graviton Lance. Graviton is one of 2 void exotic pulse rifles in the game other than Collective Obligation, which makes it pretty special. Graviton is a void pulse rifle found in the energy slot. This gun is up there with Sunshot for being good ad clear weapon and can clear out enemies really fast. Its exotic trait makes it like a void Sunshot that create void explosions that chain off of each other's kills. This pulse rifle is literally the void Sunshot. Graviton Lance can be earned by picking up the Void New Light kit from my core at the tower. This gun is very powerful with Void, especially hunters who have the Gerfalcon's Halbrick exotic chestplate. Being able to proc Devour easily and also giving overshields for breaking a combatant's shield with the Catalyst. I believe to get the Catalyst, it is a random drop from Strikes, Crucible, or Gambit, if you play Gambit, that is. Number 4 is the newly improved Huckleberry. The Huckleberry is a kinetic 750 RPM SMG. Huckleberry's exotic perk allows it to shoot faster the longer you hold down the trigger, and auto reloads as you get more kills. It also comes with a Rampage, which is vastly different from the others you see that you can find on normal legendary weapons. Huckleberry's Rampage gives you 20% more damage per stack compared to the normal version, which only gives you a 10% damage increase. This allows it to shred through large groups of enemies while also leaving you feel like you're shooting an old machine gun from the Wild West. Its Catalyst gives the SMG kinetic tremors, which makes it so when you hit your enemies, it creates a short area of effect damage that can help deal more damage to stronger enemies. This gun is a random drop from exotic engrams, and the Catalyst drops from playlist activities such as Strikes, Crucible, or Gambit. Sleeper Simulant is coming in extremely hot in the number 3 spot. This gun is a solar linear fusion rifle in the heavy slot. Sleeper Simulant hits like an absolute semi-truck against bosses, doing almost 140,000 damage in one shot. Now, for longer damage phases, this gun doesn't fare as well as our number 1 spot because it doesn't have as much ammo, but it does a really good job when it needs to. I personally use it for killing Tormentors or Subjugators, as it can really help out during Lightfall and Final Shape's legendary campaigns. Sleeper's Catalyst boosts this weapon and really improves it as it decreases its charge time for each shot, and also has a huge amount of ammo in its reserves to help you deal more damage. Sleeper Simulant can be bought at the exotic kiosk at the tower and cost only 750,000 Glimmer and 1 exotic cipher. The hard part is getting ciphers, as those don't drop as often and usually come from the season pass or resetting your rank from vendors such as Rahul. Oh, Player Slants, look at how they massacred you. Player Slants is a solar scout rifle in the energy slot. Player Slants used to, and it's still a pretty good exotic for Grandmaster Nightfalls and high-end content. Player Slants exotic perk makes it so that when you hit your 4th precision hit, it loads an explosive shot that has a delayed explosion and spreads Scorch Stack to enemies. This is a great weapon for harder content because it lets you sit safely in the back and not die as much as you normally would playing from mid-range. This gun's prime was during Season of the Wish, where there were so many artifact mods that helped solar weapons that this gun became the best gun for GMs. You can earn this gun from the exotic archive just like Sleeper Simulant and costs only 75,000 Glimmer and 1 exotic cipher. I would suggest though probably buying Sleeper Simulant over Player Slants. Now coming in with a runner up is Legend of Acrius, not because of the fact that it's bad, but just because of the fact that Spoils of Conquest are hard to get for new players or solo players without having access to most raids or just being able to do raids in general. But Legend of Acrius is a very strong heavy shotgun that deals large chunks of damage to bosses. This is because of its perk Trench Barrel, making it so shotguns deal more damage after you melee an enemy. Now to get it, you need 240 Spoils of Conquest, which I believe is the max stack, and spoils come from completing raids or looting secret chests. If you have a raid group or don't mind using LFG, I would highly suggest to get this gun as soon as you can, but it is very difficult, and I will say it's going to take a very long time. Anyways, let's wrap this up with our number 1 spot. Also, thanks to Dominocat for helping me get footage for this. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description. And our number 1 weapon on this list is the Whisper of the Worm. Whisper is a solar heavy sniper released during the Warmind expansion in Year 1. Whisper of the Worm is the best gun for very long and drawn out damage phases that are easy to hit crits on. Whisper's exotic trait is called White Nail, which allows it to do higher precision damage than most weapons, and also when you hit 3 precision shots, it refills your magazine with 1 bullet from reserves and 2 from thin air, letting you use this gun for longer damage phases without worrying about ammo. Its catalyst is called Whispered Breathing and makes it so when you scope in for 1 to 2 seconds, it gives you a 30% damage buff as long as you stay aimed down sight. Whisper and its catalyst can be found in the Whisper mission, which can be started by talking to Eris Morn on the move. This quest also lets you choose another perk to add onto the gun, which I would highly suggest putting Field Prep on for more ammo, and also you can reload faster while crouched if you miss a shot or 2. Also, this is a side note for both Whisper of the Worm and also Outbreak Perfected. Make sure to have completed the first mission of the Witch Queen, which is free, so you can have access to weapon crafting. This used to be a bug, but I'm unsure if it still exists, so please do let me know in the comments down below. Anyways, those are my 10 exotics I suggest new players to try and get first. I hope you enjoyed my video. Please leave a like or a subscribe. Either works to help support the channel, and have a good day. Number 1 was stolen. It should have been Fighting Lion. Fighting Lion is the best. It's also the best clan. It's the best exotic weapon in total. There's no point in using any other weapons. Just use Fighting Lion.